Hey everyone, it's Ten Types, and today I'm going to be ranking every Stellar Crown card. Hopefully, this is not my tier list, so maybe it's missing some stuff. I don't know. I think it has all the important stuff. We'll see. Also, I'm not going to break down the cards too much because if you're familiar with them, then you're familiar with them. If you're not, I'll like say briefly what they are. But this is just a ranking. I don't know all the cards in the set super well. Specifically, these ones right here. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but this top row of cards. I don't really know what they do. They're really boring and basic. They and bad. They're all like pretty bad, I think. They are cards from a special like kit thing where it's like the Battle Academy. They were just bad. Long story short. So yeah. So I have S A B C D F, and F includes cards that I forgot what they do. This is not a new card, or these two are not new cards. I'm gonna put all these here in F. I don't think any of them are good, as far as I can remember. There are some previous evolutions. I'll probably put all the previous evolutions in F as well. It's not like they're necessarily bad, but they're just not really worth talking about. So yeah, this is a lot of cards going in F tier. Um, I'm not really familiar with any of them. I mean, they're just like they don't do anything special. So yeah, I don't even know if like is this like for a year new? I don't know, but just a random prevolution. Of course, we got a lot of prevolutions. I'm just gonna chuck these all in here. There are some good prevolutions. Hopefully, I don't accidentally chuck any good ones in this tier. I don't think I will, but you never know. I mean, this one like might do something. I don't really know. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of like cards that just aren't good. Um, and I'll just put the previous evolutions in when I kind of get there. I don't want to waste all this time. But we've got Carnivine. This one's like pretty bad. It's a pretty generic Pokemon. I think it was like 130 or something. It's not like the worst, but it's not great. Rotom is as well as Diancie, which I was making a video talking about like the decks and how good they're going to be. And I said Lugia's going to be bad. Part of it was because of Rotom. Part of it's because of Diancie. They're just Lugia counters. Mower times like a control counter versus Dancy, which is like a normal counter, though it's not necessarily going to be taking one shots all the time. But I think these are like in C tier. No, I think Mower times C tier. I think Dancy's D tier. Honestly, this card is like really bad. I'm gonna put it in F tier. It's not really worth. Well, no, I'll put it in D tier. This Eldegoss is pretty bad. I'm gonna like vaguely order the tier list, certainly near the higher end. And I have done like ranking lists, but this will be a little different than them because obviously I'm talking about the bad cards. Eldegoss is like a control setup card that's an evolution, which normally isn't what you want, and it's not a great card, but it's like kind of funny. I don't remember what this Turnier does. Remember, it's not very good, but yeah, same thing with Lumineon. The Selectivire is like really bad. It like says you can't attack next turn at all. It's not like this Pokemon can't attack. No, it says all your Pokemon can attack. That's really bad. Lantern, this one's bad. I went to a pre-release. This is not a good card. Comfey is like a mill card. It's kind of funny. I'll put it in C tier. It's not a great card, but it's funny. It mills by forcing your opponent to draw cards, so they can just get those cards. Alchemy is bad. Marowak, I don't remember exactly what it does, but it works with the Cubone from 151, where it just has like this damage multiplier thing. I think if you have damage on your bench, Cubone or something, it does more damage. It's an okay attacker. I'll put it top of D. I mean, D's like kind of not really playable. These cards aren't great. Diancie's playable, but um, yeah, they're just like kind of silly cards, but you could maybe play them if you really want to. C is like somewhat playable, though pretty niche. B is like definitely playable. A is actually like meta, and then S is gonna be probably S is really good, right? Rhyperior is a pretty fun card. It just I've talked about it a few times. It does some different things. It's a wall, control aspects. Yeah, I mean that's what it does. It's pretty solid. No, I'll put it in C tier. I think it's a card that I like way more than other people. I haven't really heard any talk about it, but it's a cool card. Medicham EX here is like okay. I know it's a pretty generic EX. I'll just put it in the bottom of my D tier, but it is like kind of playable. I don't remember what this does. Phalanx is bad. Gulpin is also bad. I have no idea what Pangoro does. Oh, it like gusts. It's very generic. Yeah, yeah. Grimmsnarl gusts, and I don't remember how much it does, but it does enough to one-shot a lot of Pokemon that are single prizers, as well as potentially two prizers. It's an okay card. It's not great, but it's not great because it's 2 energy on a stage 2. But if it was like a stage 1 or something, like it would definitely be playable. It's not though. Then we have let's see, we got Melmetal. I don't remember. This is like a tool card. I think it's like kind of playable. I've heard some people say it's a little underrated, but I think it does synergy with like some tool recovery. But it's a pretty weak just evolution Pokemon in general. Then we have Purugly. This one I think like force someone to flip point. It's pretty bad. Tornadus is not good either. It like takes less damage. Some kind of funny combos, but it's pretty bad. Previous evolution. Oh no. Double is bad. And then I normally don't rank all the cards because they're just like not good. Like we got all these cards that there's like nothing to say about any of these cards. This is so boring. But then we have the berries. We have the psychic one. I don't know. They protect you from they reduce like 60 psychic damage once. They're pretty bad. The fire one's a D. The psychic one's also D, but like top of D. Protecting from psychic damage is like kind of okay, but still niche. Fire damage is like non-existent. Like who's out here hitting you with fire Pokemon? Like I guess Radiant Charizard. Someone like said in a comment that it protects from Radiant Charizard, which is true, but that doesn't happen very often. It is played some. But I mean, that's like one attack during like a few games, and that's it. Like that's there are like Charmanders. There are cases where it's useful, but they're really niche. The Psychic one a little more useful. Psychic's like an okay type right now. I'd say it's a solid type, but also like Gardevoir is just one shot you, right? Then we have Stellar. No, what's this? Sparkling Crystal. It's the one that like makes your Stellar Pokemon like super broken. So yeah. Um, what's this card? It's like Grand Tree, I think. I don't remember the translation of it, the English translation. I call it the Big Tree card, though. It's a B. It's a no, it's C. It's a weak ace spec in my opinion. I know some people think it's good. It's kind of like rare candy, but it's like a stadium. It's kind of how I describe it. It's kind of weird, but you're doing the stage one as well, which not all looks can play. I've heard a lot of people, like a shocking amount of people say it's good in Charizard DX, which is not like terrible, but it doesn't trigger Charizard DX's ability, I'm pretty sure. So like so then that's really bad. I mean, the ability is really good, so not using it is really bad. So I think the Great Tree card is kind of bad. This Fossil is, I don't remember what it does. This one is like kind of funny for some control options. It's niche, but it functions as this like pseudo pivot, this like one-time pivot card, and also allows you to like mess with certain decks. It's just like an okay card. This was this Caracosta Tortuga? I don't remember. It's the stage two. I've never seen this card get good cards. It's pretty bad. It's an FTR card. Then we have the Charger Bug, which like sets up your other Charger Bugs for this like weird Victorville combo. It's pretty bad, but I'll just slop it like somewhere in D tier. It's like kind of playable or something. So Cinderace EX, I'm gonna pop into C tier. It's a pretty generic EX, but it's a Stellar EX, which is 3 different energy types. It has 2 attacks which are both usable, but still pretty generic there. I'm gonna move the rest of the previous evolutions in real quick. These are not ordered at all. And I'll skip Duraludon. That's like kind of interesting, I guess. And certainly Dipplin we'll talk about real quick. But like I have no idea what this Fido does or anything like that. Because normally, they're pretty useless. But yeah, Joltik certainly we need to talk about. And yeah, I think that's all the previous evolutions. No, Slowpoke. There we go. So then we have Crabominable. Let's talk about Crabominable and Veluza. They are part of the Kofu deck. The deck's like not good. It's a supporter that like you need the supporter in the discard to attack easier, which aka you need it to attack, and that's hard to do. The attacks aren't great. If you look at Crabominable as 1 energy, 250 on stage one, that's good. It's not like game-breakingly broken, but it's quite strong. It's like very good, definitely. If you look at it as 2 energy on a stage one that does 250, that's pretty solid. They're a little awkward, and especially having to say like this is your main supporter, that's like pretty awkward. It's not bad though. It's okay. But then if you're saying like 3 energy on this stage on stage one to do 250, that's pretty weak. It's HP. Like its stats are generally solid. I think the Crabominable I'm gonna pop into top of D tier. I'll put the loser there too. I think they're like okay cards. Luza has some like use cases which are like kind of interesting, but not that interesting. Like it hits through the Trapghost EX, but also so does Crabominable. It just isn't walled by it. But yeah, Veluza like hits through stuff, which is theoretically useful, but it's not really being walled by much. And Crabominable is being walled by like essentially nothing. So yeah. Anyway, I guess it hits through Core Stone Massacre upon EX, which is kind of funny. I don't think it its weakness. No, I know. I think it does hit weakness. Never mind. It's like it's an kind of interesting card. Kofu as a supporter is like whatever. I'm just gonna put it in D tier here next to these two. It's nothing like super special. It's a pretty underwhelming supporter. And supporters, if there's a supporter that's just like directly better, you're always gonna play the one that's directly better. It's it's a it's like a draw 4 supporter. Draw 4 supporters exist a lot in the game. People don't really play them. There's a lot that and do a lot of different things that are like draw 4. And Kofu does have like a downside. It's by far not a perfect supporter. I think it's a little underrated. Wait, is it underrated? I don't know. I think the like Veluza deck, the Kofu Veluza Crabominal deck's not good, which I think that's a little that's overrated. But Kofu as a supporter has like some value. It's still like not great. Um, and I'll put it in C tier. That's fine. Cordelia's like a meme attacker. It's like it's whatever. It's it's a fossil stage 2. What are you gonna say about it, right? Giant bomb. It does no deluxe bomb. It just does like lots of damage when you're hit into knocked out. It's an okay spec. Oh no, my mouse started drifting. I think I had 2 fingers. It'll be in like the bottom of C. No, it'll be top of D tier. I think it's pretty. No, bottom of C tier. It has use cases. It kind of gets you an extra prize in certain matchups, which is really good. That's like insane. But also, like that's only some of the time. I think it's not going to happen that often. Just going to be kind of useless. And also like Prime Catcher, like so it could win you games, but it could just be useless. Prime Catcher is like always insane. Unfair Stamp is always insane. It's not always insane if your opponent's got like a really good draw engine. Unfair Stamping them doesn't do that much, but it does draw your cards as well. So it's still a very good A spec. A Secret Box is great for consistency. Sparkling Crystal is just like really good for certain decks. It's almost required to play them. That Legacy Energy like really insane, right? So it like doesn't really live up to those great ace specs much, and it's certainly not helping with consistency or anything like that. Drift Blim, everyone explode now. It's like a funny attack. It's not very good. Oh no, it goes here in D tier. Just like it's like a mediocre attacker. Then we got, honestly, this D tier, so he's not ordered very well, but whatever. Garganackle is like D tier, it's just some random EX. Um, Melmetal is like really bad. I don't remember exactly what it does, but I know it's bad. Orthworm EX is some generic EX. I think it's like an okay one that's generic. Yeah, we need to talk about the other EXs. Like, they're not just generic EXs. Any other generic Pokemon? I mean, like, Duraludon's like an okay attacker in my opinion. It's not like that good, but as a pre-evolution, it's okay. Same thing with Talonflame. Oh, what is this card? Okay, let's put that there. Togedemaru is pretty bad. It has some like funny niche control cases, but they're like really sketchy, so I'll just pop it in D tier here. Zeraora, same thing, pretty generic attacker. Lacey is shuffle draw 3, shuffle draw 8. Lacey's a pretty sketchy supporter. I'll put it top of D tier. It has some use cases, but they're not that common. Then we have anything else that's like not good. Oh, Koraidon's not good. It's not the worst, but it's not good. So the Iron Boulder does like 170 if you have the same number of cards in your hand as your opponent for 2 psychic on a basic, which is like kind of funny. I think it's a cool card. It's like pretty gimmicky, but it's fun. Klinklang is a counter to Chien-Pao. It's not like the best counter to Chien-Pao, but it's pretty good. But also like who's out here countering Chien-Pao, right? Like what decks are thinking like, what I don't want to see is Chien-Pao, and I see it all the time. Like no, people don't play Chien-Pao that much. Certainly this is gonna discourage people a tiny bit. It was shown off in the trainers Pokemon trailer, which was like really weird. It's not really. Or I'm pretty sure it was. If it was a different Klinklang, if it's like Ends Klinklang, then I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it was like literally Klinklang, countering Chien-Pao Excalibur. So I was like, it's got to be that Klinklang, which is like super weird. Like why do we Anyways, so that was in the trailer, which is super bizarre. But Vikvolt's also kind of stinky. So yeah, it's nothing super special. Joltik, I'm gonna put Joltik in a C tier. It accelerates a bunch of energy, but also it has 30 HP on a basic Pokemon, or I mean 30 HP on any Pokemon is really bad. And energy acceleration on attacks can be sketchy. It depends what exactly you need it to do. It does accelerate 4, which is a lot, but it is of 2 different types. It is a nice addition to the eventual EX deck, though, which I'll talk about now. It's an item lock deck, kind of fun. I'm going to pop it into the top of C tier. It has some like niche cases, it has some like use cases they're kind of niche. Like item locking is good, but it's like really hard to pull off. So you need to be against a deck where your opponent just can't really do like apply pressure. If they knock out stuff, it can go very badly, I feel like. And if you miss item lock, that's really bad. But it's a kind of fun card and does have 2 useful attacks as well, though you don't really want to be switching up out of the item lock attack. Then we have I can do this. Okay. Got Trapgood's EX is S tier. I think it's a very good attacker. Is it S tier or A tier? I'm gonna put it in S tier. It's quite strong. Obviously, its attack, you can attack turn one going second or first with its first attack, so that's like not great, but whatever. I think it's still very good. Area Zero under depth. No, I'll put in A tier. It's very good. It's just not the level of S tier cards. Area Zero under depth, easy S tier card. 8 bench Pokemon, just really good. Crispin is an A tier supporter. Accelerating energy, essentially unlimited, or without like restriction. You do need two different types of energies, but you can just like check in whatever. Savannah energies just like don't do much in the deck, but they could kind of do something. And then just accelerate energy. So Crispin's an okay supporter. It's a good supporter that can be used in a bunch of different decks. Then we have Briere. This is an S tier supporter, letting you take an extra prize. That's like really broken. It is only on one turn. It's only on certain turns of the game. I was gonna say only one turn. It might not be any turns, right? It's only certain turns for certain decks, but it is really powerful, right? We have Glass Trumpet, another S tier card. I think this actually might be. It's one of the best cards in the set. I'll put it here. Allowing you to accelerate energy to colorless Pokemon is good. I mean, it's like double Dark Patch kind of. You can look at it that way. Oh, Lapras EX is kind of bad. I'm gonna put in D tier. I might make a video talking about it. I've heard some people say it's just like super broken, which doesn't make any sense. It's not like a terrible garbage card, but it's definitely, to me, clearly the worst Stellar EX, unless of course we get like certain support going on in the future. But even with the stuff it has now, it's just not great. It has like a setup attack, but it's also a two prizer, which is bad. Like setup attacks generally aren't good. So looking at this funny meme Pokemon, it's better than these, so it'll end up in C tier. Nothing too much to say about it. Lydian, gusting on play up to 90 HP, allowing you to gust like lots of different things. I think it's a pretty fun card that is, it's pretty solid. I'm gonna say it's a B tier card, honestly. Has free retreat, usable attack. Yeah, just a solid card. Archaludon, I'm gonna put in C tier, like near the bottom, allowing you to get free retreat on metal Pokemon. Or is it metal energy? I think it's Pokemon with metal energy attached. It's like an okay card, giving you some options in certain matchups. If your opponent keeps like boss trapping you, but not like stopping you from retreating, it is like kind of good. It's attack usable. With the Archaludon EX, it's gonna be super good, I think, but that's not out yet. Then we have Dachsbun EX. It's like Cheryl, a bunch of evolution healing on playability. It's okay. I'll put it like somewhere here. You do discard all damage as well. It's like an okay Pokemon. Raging Bolt is this like snipe-based attack. I'll put it top of D tier. I think it's like pretty niche in use cases. What are you putting it in? Probably not Ancient Box. The high retreat isn't that big of an issue with Pokemon EX. It doesn't matter, but it's not a huge deal. But then of course you have the issue of like how to get the energy on. So it's probably not going in the Ancient Box unless you're like really switching it up. But if you're playing Koraidon and then you're not really caring that much about Roaring Moon, then I guess you could put this in. I don't know who's like playing it that way, but if you are, you could do that. But the bigger deck that obviously would be playing it in is Raging Bolt. The Raging Bolt EX, putting the single price Raging Bolt in there as like the snipe option. Maybe Regidrago V-Star as well, though that seems very niche. But it's like an interesting attacker. It's nothing super good though. Then we have a Dreadnought. This is a pretty fun wall. I think it's a very good wall. It is an evolution, which we don't really see much now. I mean, we have stuff like Aegislash, but who's playing Aegislash? We got Mimikyu. Speaking of walls, we got Dipplin, which is another wall. I'll put in B tier and does wall some pretty good Pokemon. And then we have Hydrapple EX. I'll put in the top of C tier. It's kind of like top of C tier, top of D tier. There we go. It's a Pokemon that has like some fun ideas, but also it's a stage 2 that does the same thing as a basic. So essentially, it's the same as TLMS Ogerpon EX. I'd say it's about as good, right? But then it's a stage 2, not a basic, so that's bad. And then we have Salazzle here, which just discards your opponent's whole hand. This card's really good. It's an A tier card. I'm going to put it at the top of A tier. I think it's one of the best cards in the set, honestly. Like, it's kind of a silly meme card, but also it's super broken. Yeah, it's really good. A Fan Rotom is like good. I'll put an A tier. Fun attacker, good ability. Insane, very good ability for certain specific things. Getting Noctiles, getting Bouffalants. Gravity Stone is a fun little like retreat cost increasing card. I'm trying to think of my top 10 and what I had. I think Galvantula EX might have been there. It's not great. It's okay. I think it's Yeah, no, I think this is fine. Gravity Stone, increasing retreat cost is kind of fun. I think it's a very good control card and just general disruption card. Knockdown is, I think it's the best card in this set. It's really close, you could really say, between honestly a good chunk of cards. But it's a very good engine. It's the first really great engine we've seen in, I feel like a while. I'm trying to think of the last like really good engine we saw that like sees regular play. I guess Pidgeot EX wasn't that long ago. That we have stuff like Teal Sugar Pun EX, Fizzendifty EX, and UEX was I guess also after Pidgeot EX, but they're not like that good. Oh, they're good, but they're not like full engines. So yeah, I think Noctowl, though, going to be a really good engine. Bouffalant is a nice card, giving you a bunch of HP and tankiness on these basic colorless Pokemon. Bouffalant's just a good card. It's pretty straightforward, but it is good. But anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Consider liking, subscribing, hitting the bell, joining the channel, all that good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.